India has just taken an unprecedented step, openly challenging former U.S. President Donald Trump over his accusations that New Delhi is bankrolling Russia's war. This bold move is shaking up the diplomatic landscape and could reshape global trade relations. This is Orator IQ News, bringing you sharp insights into the stories that matter most. Today, we're breaking down the escalating tensions between India and the United States. A clash of economic strategies, political will, and global influence. Under President Trump's administration, Washington accused India of indirectly funding Russia's war by importing large quantities of Russian oil. Trump warned of higher tariffs on Indian goods, a direct economic threat to one of the fastest-growing economies in the world. But India isn't backing down. In a rare and direct rebuttal, New Delhi says its decision to buy Russian oil is driven by pragmatic economics, not politics. They argue that when Russia invaded Ukraine, global energy supplies were thrown into chaos. European countries cut back on Russian oil, increasing demand for West Asian crude. Competing with Europe would have driven global prices through the roof, hurting India's 1.4 billion citizens. And here's the kicker. India claims that Western nations, including the U.S., initially encouraged these Russian imports to stabilize world markets. India is also calling out what it sees as blatant hypocrisy. While the West criticizes India for buying Russian oil, European and American companies continue doing business with Russia in other sectors, from natural gas to rare earth minerals to fertilizers. This, India says, is proof that sanctions and restrictions are applied selectively, based not on principle, but on political convenience. Traditionally, India has avoided direct public confrontations with powerful nations like the U.S., but this time is different. Officials are openly asserting India's sovereign right to make decisions in its own national interest, even reminding Washington of past U.S. support for Pakistan. It's a clear signal. India is willing to endure criticism and tariffs if it means protecting its economic security and the well-being of its people. Trump's tariff threats aren't being taken lightly. The Indian government is preparing a $2.3 billion export support plan to protect its industries. This includes credit support for exporters, easing regulations, and improving logistics to keep Indian goods competitive abroad. At the same time, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is pushing a major Buy Indian campaign, encouraging citizens to boost domestic consumption as a buffer against foreign trade pressure. The message is clear. If the U.S. market becomes hostile, India will lean on its massive domestic market and explore alternative global partners. This standoff is about more than oil and tariffs. It's about the future of India-U.S. relations, the balance of global trade, and how emerging powers assert themselves in a world dominated by great power rivalries. India's strategy, combining diplomacy, economic resilience, and self-reliance, could inspire other nations facing similar pressure from bigger economies. If tensions persist, we may see India strengthen ties with new trade partners and diversify its energy sources, further reducing its dependence on any single country. In the end, this isn't just a trade dispute, it's a test of sovereignty, strategy, and global influence. India is showing that even in the face of U.S. pressure, it will defend its right to make independent decisions for its people. This was Orator IQ News, your source for in-depth analysis and the real stories behind the headlines. Subscribe now to stay ahead of the curve with the latest updates, bold commentary, and insights you won't find anywhere else.